To put it bluntly,
Accessibility podcast called To Put It Bluntly.
hello and welcome to episode 24 of To Put It Bluntly, also could be known as season 2, episode 9. It is myself, the Wobbly Gamer, and as always, I am joined by my hostess with the mostess, Mr. Cameron Keywood.
Hello, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. You've had a busy week, have you? So
We have, yeah.
yeah.
So we are recording this on a Saturday, which is very unusual because we normally stick to business hours for our guests. But for those watching on YouTube, you can see we are joined by the glamorous and much more interesting Poppy. See, hair flick and everything there for you guys.
Okay, yeah, we get it. You got hair.
We get it. You got hair, yeah. Rub it in. No, so Poppy, hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You are more than welcome. So how's everyone's week been? We'll start with as always.
Been pretty good.
Yeah.
Been pretty productive. Lots of bits and bobs have been done, so I'm happy with that. And it's sunny.
It's
so...
yeah, we've literally just kind of walked in from a cricket family fun morning thing, and sat in a beer garden of a local hotel with loads of inflatable things and cricket things going on, and yeah, it was really nice to get in the sunshine for an hour or two. You feel a bit more human, don't you?
The vitamin D helps.
The vitamin D does help. I don't think Cameron's seen much vitamin D this week or had much vitamin D because he's been playing WWE from what I can tell.
Yeah, just 96 hours apparently, according to PlayStation, which I think is wrong because somehow the day after it came out I had 36 hours when it'd only been out 24, and I'd obviously slept and had breaks. So yeah, I think the PlayStation timing's a bit off, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I've only got one trophy to go now for the platinum.
Oh my god!
Wow.
And I can't get it till April because it's hidden behind like a season sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I have to wait till like mid-April to get it. So, but yeah, really enjoyed it. That's all I played really. Yeah.
I don't know. Did we talk about Split Fiction?
No, yeah, we played that as well, didn't we?
Yeah. Poppy, I don't know. Have you seen Split Fiction or?
I've heard such good things and I really want to play it, but I'm saving it for Grant's birthday.
No,
so...
that makes sense. Honestly,
Yeah.
I would if
3 hours.
Yeah, we and Cameron played it for 3 hours, and I played it a little bit longer with another friend on his stream.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Big Hamish.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's my game of the year so far.
Really, I've heard that from a lot of people. You know?
Like I adored Kingdom Come 2, but there is so many things going on inside Split Fiction. It's got so many like throwbacks to old games, to game like Assassin's Creed jump in, just old school shooting scrollers and things like that. It's so good and it's really well made. It's funny. The co-op feels like you're actually playing it together, not just like simultaneously, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, so you both set different challenges and tasks. You're not both doing the same thing at the same time. You're doing very different things. And I love that. And it just flows really well. And honestly, if GTA 6 gets postponed for some unknown reason, I honestly think that'd be up there with a huge chance at Game of the Year.
Yeah. I mean, they won it last time they put a game out, so I can't see why not.
Yeah,
and this
honestly,
is better.
so
This is
good.
better than I think so.
But yeah, so obviously I've introduced you, Poppy, or Poppy Field, as we should say. What we're going to do now is hand over to yourself.
Me. Hello.
As I always ask, the really deep question, who is Poppy?
Oh, who am I? Well, hi, I'm Poppy. I'm a communication specialist and an accessibility specialist, particularly in fashion and gaming. And yeah, I've worked with AAA games and indie games to hopefully make games a little bit more accessible, but also within the fashion industry with companies that are also trying to make fashion adaptive and accessible. And being a part of some fashion shows have been really fun, where we had disabled people and disabled fashion. So a bit of everything, really. Also technology is currently something I'm venturing into at the moment. I'm really enjoying it.
Accessible fashion. Now, as two people who, well, I can speak for myself, but probably Wobbles as well. We're not really at the height of fashion.
No, I live in black t-shirts and jeans.
I go for comfort over style every time.
So
I mean, that's pretty much my work, though. It's functionality at the heart, and then style. That's fair enough.
Yeah, the style don't come into it at all.
No, it's
Game,
definitely
gaming
functionality
hoodie
first for
t-shirts.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Poppy, what if you don't mind me asking? It's always about a good thing to start with. What disability have you got? How comes you've kind of
Mm.
fallen into the disability community
Yeah,
sphere with the fashion and the gaming?
yeah. So I have a bunch of chronic illnesses that mean I have chronic fatigue, chronic pain. I'm also neurodivergent, so I have a lot of cognitive disabilities and learning disabilities, and it's all this sort of perfect mix of just a body that only half works half the time, if you're lucky. So it can be quite difficult to manage. But with sort of right adaptations and mobility aids over time, I've sort of figured out that I can do things, or at least try and have a bit more of a level playing field with more accessibility. I sort of first found the gaps in fashion where I just didn't feel catered to anymore. I was doing a fashion degree, and I was like, the only way I can do this fashion degree and come out of it like sane is if I do it in some lens that actually like speaks to me, speaks to my soul. And going through a lot of like invisible chronic illnesses at that time, just yeah, it just all sort of came together like that. I feel like a lot of people have a similar story where you're just trying to do something you're passionate about, and then your disability disables you, and you're like, damn, I should probably should do something about that. So yeah, that's when I first started sort of embracing my more disabled identity. But I've been sick and disabled my whole life. It's just been one of those things. But I feel like I'm in a good place with it now, where I really understand like how it affects me and my needs. So yeah, community helps too.
Love that.
Yeah.
Why fashion?
Ah,
Like,
that's such a good question.
yeah, because it's
Yeah.
obviously something you've studied it at university, so you're obviously
Mhm.
passionate about it. And I am literally the opposite end. Like me and Cameron have both said, we are
Yeah.
both the opposite ends of the scale in comparison to you with fashion. Like it's functionality first, and as long as it's black, I'm fine. Yeah, it's I still dress like a 16-year-old skater boy, as my wife says to me quite frequently, and yeah. Why fashion? Is it something you've grown up, you just always intrigued in, and
Gonna say that I mean personal style is personal style. It's subjective. There's no right or wrong thing. There's no such thing as I'm not fashionable because if it's functional and you feel good in it, then to me that's fashion, and that's style. But from a young age, I basically became the little playground dictator and made everyone join my fashion design club. At random, when I was like 9 years old, I was like, everyone, you're joining, and you're gonna help me be a fashion designer. And I have some really great friends who, so we just made this little group and we were like making little fabric bracelets. And that was like my first venture into like building a community around fashion. And I've always loved fashion. I think being able to express yourself, and especially when I became sick, that became very important for my well being and sort of basically choosing how people can perceive me before they perceive my disability, I think was the first the reason it really spoke to me and made me a little bit of a fashion obsessive. The stuff I would wear when I first got into fashion is not stuff I would wear now. I think some things are very questionable in choices, but I think that like self-exploration is really important. And as my disability has progressed, it's become a lot more functionality based because my disability has worsened and progressed in many ways. And I've realized that if you don't have the right clothing, you can't do things, and you're very much shut out from society as a whole. And that realization happened to me whilst I was doing my degree, and I was facing a lot of barriers where they weren't accommodating my needs within lectures and in general. And then I was being expected to go to like fashion shows, and I couldn't do it because they were inaccessible. And then the clothes we sort of had to wear to fit in because everyone was wearing like amazing clothes, but also kind of getting more inaccessible for me. Um, so it's sort of you need clothing to exist in the world, and we called it the clothing participation gap in the fashion world, where it's basically 2/3 of disabled people have experienced it, where you cannot participate in society, whether it's socially, um, in the workplace, you just can't do things if you haven't got the uniform, if you haven't got the outfit, it doesn't fit you. That's it, like you're barred. So I think that's when the passion really stepped in for me because my experience of being barred, but also like, oh, damn. And then also the intersection of why can't we focus on accessible and functional fashion and make it cool like everyone else? Because we can't seem to have one without the other. It's always like you have to choose one. You got to choose functionality or you got to choose style. So yeah, that's kind of the long answer for why fashion. It's a complicated one.
No, it's great. So you've just nailed what I'd like to speak to people about before. Is I play football, and the introduction of laceless football boots was a phenomenon for me. Because even at 25, I was asking people to tie up my bootlaces, and it's like, I don't need to be doing this. And now all of a sudden they brought out these slip-on ones that are amazing. And I'm like, it's accessible football boots, and I've been waiting for these since I was like 10. Can we? Yeah. And
Exactly that.
yeah, people don't even think, like you said, it's fashion, but it's also things like football boots, trainers. I know Nike had brought out a whole range of adaptive football boots, and people don't think of it as that. It's incredible that people are now thinking about things like that.
Yeah.
So, what does accessible fashion look like to you?
Where functionality meets style and personal style. I think that sweet spot, which can be oftentimes hard to do by yourself, and which is also why. So I previously worked with a nonprofit called Open Style Lab, and they're based in New York, and the whole thing is making style accessible for all, which very much sticks with like my inner mission of democratizing fashion as much as possible. And yeah, I think it depends on each person. It's a very subjective thing. Some things are going to be inaccessible for some, as is all accessibility. But I think disabled people being considered within the design of clothing, full stop, which is back to the nonprofit. A big portion of our work was collaborating with disabled people, occupational therapists, and designers and engineers. And so making this little concoction of people who can all put their brains and have all the good parts. And that was really cool to see unfold and see that it's totally possible. It's a harder thing to scale because it's always a very micro approach to it. But the more scalability of it would be like, for example, Primark currently have an adaptive wear line that's just come out, which was led by Victoria Jenkins, which is on the high street now. I think it's only in certain stores, so it's still sort of early days. But now, do I agree with fast fashion? No. But do I agree with us being consulted and included in the design process? Much like gaming and technology, I always say it's a very similar crossover with accessibility across the board. At the end of the day, it's just consideration and inclusion of us during the design process. So it's a mixture, really. There's lots of different branches that are sort of covering all bases at the moment, which I'm really impressed by.
So you just said then, like, you've worked with international brands. Myself and I know Cameron and that we've worked with companies that you kind of pinch yourself moments.
Yes.
What's the brand? Have you worked with a brand that you've had that moment with? Have you got or is there that brand that you're still waiting to come out and go, would you work with us? And then you'd kind of have the excited scream and then reply to the email.
There's a lot of things that sadly have sort of fallen through in the process, and the bigger ones where I did do the excited scream, and then I was like, oh, okay, and it's frustrating because you can really see the vision. I think, my first sort of going into the realm of fashion and also communication, so accessible fashion communication as this sort of space that no one even considers of how to communicate accessible fashion, how to market it, and how to talk about it, was when I was a little baby advocate, and I got involved a little bit with consulting on the Tommy Hilfiger campaign that happened 2019. That was pretty huge. I don't know if I had helped that much. It was more just on a sort of micro communication level of how to communicate and how to approach it. That was really cool. And that what ended up winning was at Cannes. And sort of sitting on calls with bigger companies like Macy's and UGG have been pretty huge. I'm just like, I can't believe this is happening. This is crazy. And you just have to keep it cool because you're just like, I know things. I totally know things. So yeah, there's a lot that's let me down, but there's also a lot that's sort of uplifted me over the years, and it tends to be on the smaller level. For example, I don't know if you know the sock company Bombas. They did an awful lot of outreach to people. I've noticed it does tend to be smaller fashion houses and companies that And you know what? I'm not bothered by that. I think they are sort of setting this realistic foundation, and it's a bit more sustainable in this and the mission, I guess. Rather these sort of big fashion houses that come in and like swoop in and go, we're going to do accessibility, and then a year later, where is it gone? It's no longer in stores. It's nowhere to be
So
seen.
this very much happened with the football boots because they were from
Mm.
an instant. We knew people that wanted to get them and couldn't get them because they were
Yeah.
so limited makes, limited runs.
Yeah.
The people that actually needed the boots weren't getting the boots. It was collectors. It was
Yeah, the
sneak. It
collectors,
was
yeah.
sneakerheads, whatever you want to call them, buying the trainers and the boots up quicker than the people that actually needed them for accessibility purposes were getting them.
Yeah, that
And
happened with the Nike shoes too,
yeah,
unfortunately. Yeah, it really sucks. I think the bigger the company and the more sort of this is a drop, like a limited drop, ends up just harming. And a lot of it is just marketing budgets and hoping that they can use this as a sort of springboard to be like, look at us, we're so good. And as well as like going for like awards. Sometimes if you watch the timing of when things come out in general, I mean, this is just accessibility as a whole. You can kind of figure out who's come out with the thing to try and win an
Yeah.
award.
Yeah.
yeah, you can.
So, and that happens a lot in fashion. I can get very frustrating because you come across as very like fickle and like cynical because why aren't you happy? You love this thing. This is so exciting. But which is why sort of the smaller companies who are focusing on just making more functional fashion, you don't have to label it as adaptive fashion. You don't have to be like, it's kind of like games, right? Where it's built into the game. You don't need to label it as
Yeah.
this is like, here's all these settings. And it's very similar to fashion because a lot of the time people ask me what adaptive fashion even is. And I'm like, well, how long have you got? But it tends to sort of be like, well, like fastenings and materials and a bunch of things, honestly. But if you're making the clothing with that in mind in general, much like your football boots, if the football boots are just made where you can slip them on, and that becomes like, you know, half the sort of supply of football boots.
And that's what it's
It's
become.
not
It has become
Yeah.
half. Yeah, everyone wears
Yeah.
slip-on football boots now, and it stemmed from probably someone going, "I'm really fed up of doing my laces up," and yeah,
Exactly. And I think if you can find people who see the ease of use in the product who are outside of like accessibility needs, that's when it really the ball starts rolling. And you can see that with like zips on clothing and just in general soft materials. I mean, whenever I go into a shop, it's always like, this is cotton. Like that's one thing that I'm telling companies to do is to make things cotton and soft because sensory issues. There's, I mean, one thing, and I feel like Wobbly will appreciate that we try to figure out is making it so that you can identify clothing with lack of vision and low vision. That's still something where I'm like, I don't know how they're going to build that into the process of designing clothing.
there's people are using electric tag systems, aren't they, where you get a little
Mm-hmm.
pen and it scans it and reads out what item of clothing that barcode is attached to. That's something I know that's out there and people I know use. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because it's literally trying to describe it because you want to look. It's looking good. It's wanting to look nice. So you need to look at it, and it's very hard to make fashion accessible to visually impaired and blind people because of that major reason. It's about the look.
Yeah.
And I remember years ago when I first heard of anything to do with accessible fashion was the charity I was working for got approached by John Lewis to go in and have a makeup session, and we invited a load of blind ladies to this makeup session with John Lewis, and I was like, it's amazing because I'd never thought of it like that. I was like, oh my god, yeah, how do blind ladies put makeup on? And I was like, oh my, I never, and like for me, it's something I'm like visually impaired, got friends that are blind, and even I just sat there and went, that can't be easy, can it?
Did you get you a makeup done?
Yeah, I did. I looked amazing. Yeah.
Ah, you need.
Can you not
to see
tell?
the thumbnail.
My blending is immaculate.
That contour though.
Yeah.
I mean, just a shout out to Lucy Edwards, who is currently building. I hate saying like the first because oftentimes it's not so much the first; it's just the first person to be platformed and amplified. But who's currently making the sort of a blind makeup company with blind accessibility in mind. and she's doing really cool things. I know she's got a big grant, and I think the difference is you can see the disabled people who are part of the process
It's yeah.
are pushing it. That makes such a difference. I mean, I mentioned Victoria Jenkins earlier. She's disabled, and she's worked with like Karl Lagerfeld, who's worked with like Chanel to make their brand a bit more accessible, and now has gone on to work with Primark. So yeah, it's really, I think, more disabled people being in part of the process, and I think it can be a bit harder with fashion when I compare it to like gaming. Like gaming, you just need to be a gamer. You just need to play the games and have experience. With fashion, like it's so much harder to get in the room.
Yeah, I can't imagine how difficult that is.
It
Definitely
really
to
like
me.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, just the companies as a whole don't tend to hit like heroes out in the same way because there's like an image to uphold. Um, so that it's frustrating seeing the difference because there's so many similarities. Um, but yeah, look out for Lucy Edwards' makeup line. I think that's going to be amazing. Uh, Huge. And there's also like those are tools. I think is Human Beauty has like a accessible palette. But going back to sort of blind accessibility and beyond that as well, it's why the whole process of shopping and being a consumer needs to be considered as a disabled person and with accessibility, because online accessibility matters, and that's where the descriptors come in, and that's when you can really refine down where okay, maybe the product isn't the most accessible, but how can we make the experience more accessible? How can we make sure that this like floor, like the shop floor, is wheelchair accessible?
Ooh, has
More to consider throughout the whole process. Where I think a lot of things now with gaming is very digitalized. It's very all like there's less of a tangible product.
Yeah.
I
Still
could
is,
I
less
couldn't
so.
tell you the last time I went into a game shop and bought a game.
Mhm.
Honestly,
Wow.
yeah,
Same.
They're all shut down now. They're all shut
yeah.
down all by me.
Like, yeah.
So how did you? Because you obviously started in fashion.
Mhm.
How did you bridge the gap between fashion and gaming? Because they, like, it's not like us gamers and me and Cameron
Yeah.
both said are renowned for our fashion, and you go to a gaming convention and it's normally black skinny jeans, a skate shoe of some variety, and a t-shirt. There's no one walking in the top of the range clothing. Let's put it that way. And like yeah, high end of fashion.
I was gonna say, yeah, the Game Awards is always a bit of a culture shock for me when I see my worlds collide, and I'm like, oh, okay.
It's like Steve
It's
Saylor always looks immaculate, and I'm like, yeah, come on now, you're yeah.
um, I've been a gamer since a very young age, but I had to deal with a lot of sexism and misogyny around gaming, where I wasn't allowed to play games. I would watch my cousins play games, and they play like The Simpsons Hit and Run and GTA, and I just watch and be like, oh, so the boys can play it, but I'm like not allowed to. Okay, cool. I just see a bit of a strength in that I don't have gaming language learnt, and I don't have it down. Like I am so oblivious sometimes to how like the gaming language that everyone has learned since they like came out the womb, and I'm like, oh, like the concept of open worlds confused me. I was like, what do you mean I can't just go across the boundary for the longest time? So it took me like a long time to even learn games again, and that happened like around university, so I was like 19, 20, and I played GTA, and then I'd hide it from my parents because they wouldn't want me playing it because it's like violent and gruesome, and I'd be like, I want to play GTA. So it's kind of a weird one. I haven't got this like yeah, clear cut approach to gaming. But I started gaming with a bunch of friends at university, and one game where I was first like, that sounds like accessibility. Like I'm putting the dots together here, was Uncharted, where all the settings that you could play around with and you could really customize the experience and have fun with it. I was like, this was so new to me. I was like, you're allowed to do this since when? Um, that was the first time where I was like, okay, I think there's something to this. And I started gaming a lot more. And then I sort of started working as a player researcher with Sony for a bit right at the beginning, like very small steps, like just going in for like a couple of hours. And that was really fun because that was my first exposure to like the big games. And Yeah, that was with Dreams, I think. That was really cool. And then from there, it just grew. My love for it grew. I think being in bed a lot and housebound a lot meant that gaming became this a bit of escape for me, and especially like open world games. It was very exciting, and learning the language of gaming and also learning how to accommodate myself was a rough ride. And this all happened whilst I was doing my degree, so it was just all perfect timing, really. And from there, it just grew. That's a very long explanation, but
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. There would have been a small interlude there while I sort out my internet because, yep, Mr. Musk is obviously not having a very good day today because I'm a shill and I can't, yeah, I have to unfortunately put money into that tit's pocket. But where were we? We were discussing, or about to start discussing, the power couple of accessibility. I think we could maybe describe it as. Me and Cameron are trying to get there, but
Yeah,
I don't
we're
think
talking-
I don't think we will ever be.
It'll take a while, yeah.
It'll take a while, yeah.
in my heart, you're my power couple. For sure.
Poppy. So we had Grant on a couple of weeks ago,
Mhm.
and he very much made it out to be like you were. I'm not going to go as far to say stalking him,
Yeah, I was going to say
What?
that.
but I'm not going to go as far to say you weren't. You definitely had Twitter notifications on, to say the least.
Okay, so first of all, I will say we were equally each other's hype person. Okay, I'm putting like it was shared. It was reciprocal. Okay, no stalking, no nothing. But yeah, basically everything he said is true though. That's basically what happened. I'm not comfortable with the stalker hype girl. I'm busy. I'm a busy woman, okay? Like but yeah, we met around 2020. He ignored me for 6 months. That's true. Uh that's on him. I still make fun of him to this day. We're gonna do ignore me for 6 months? Like
To be fair,
Um,
I did something similar to with my wife, so yeah, it must be. It's there's a trend, yeah. We
I
met.
thought he hated me.
Pardon?
I thought he hated me.
No, so we met in a pub, and then I ghosted her for 6 months, and then
Very
Yeah.
similar. It all worked
yeah.
out.
But so yeah, it is exactly kind of how he said it. Just kind of blossomed over Twitter, and then into him actually developing a whole story and a news piece just to actually get an opportunity to talk to you face to face. Or yeah,
That's true too. I had no idea that he did it, like in particular to speak to me. I'm still like, are you sure? Like, I don't know, but he's convinced. He's like, no, I pretty much orchestrated it so that I had a reason to talk to you.
and I'd just like to say I'm a pawn in that orchestration because I spoke to him about Starfield and was in that piece as well. So I feel like
Wow.
I feel like I have been used. Like
Yeah.
I was, 'cause I
For a
was like,
good cause, though. For a good
Yeah.
cause.
and he's like, that was in the piece. Like, you say this out loud. Yeah, no, it's pretty much the same thing. And then I finally actually start replying back to him because I'm an awful replier, I think, as most people know. And gave him a time of day. And then I was like, you know what? Quite like you. You're quite decent, actually. Could spend more time with you. And now we're together, and it's been almost 2 years, and it's
Oh
been
my god, it's
lovely.
been 2 years.
I know. He's a gusher though. He does gush a lot. Gusher. Yeah. But I can validate his story. It is true. Fine.
Right, that's enough about Grant. We all know you're the best half of that relationship. It's absolutely fine.
I didn't say that, Grant. Still want to talk to me? That's fine.
So we've touched on your accessible gaming, and we're going to talk about one of your favourite games shortly. But what games do you play, Poppy? Let's find out a bit more about the gamer inside Poppyfield, because we know the fashionista is very much on the outside. You can see that, but the game is kind of it's not hidden. But what games does Poppy play?
That's true. I don't tend to talk too much about it. I mean, the most obvious thing is the reason that that piece was orchestrated by my partner was because I really like Fallout and I love Fallout lore. Big fan. So I love Fallout, but I don't play it too much these days. I play a lot of Fortnite, which I feel like everyone knows, and it makes me sound like a sweaty 9-year-old. But unfortunately, the rumors are true, and I am a Fortnite sweat. And I love Coral Island at the moment. I can't I have like almost 200 hours in that
Oh my
since like
God.
December, which is questionable.
That's
It's
impressive
so
going.
good.
I'm here for that.
It's so good. It's like, I don't know, can I, how much swearing can I swear? I'm gonna say I call it like a cunty Stardew Valley.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yes, we love a
yeah.
but we love a C bomb on the pod. Go for it.
Mhm. It's honestly perfect, and I love it. What else do I play? I played a game called Lake recently, and I really enjoyed that. It's just
Oh,
where
is that
you're
the one with the postwoman?
so good. Yeah,
Yeah. I played that. I
just
did
so
enjoy it.
easy peasy and lovely and sweet. And yeah, I'm trying to think other games. I'm also I love Beat Saber on VR. That is a fun time. So you can often find me doing that for cardio. When gaming and cardio mix is like the best.
How do you find Beat Saber with your like fatigue and things like that? Because it's a very
It's
full
hit and
on.
miss. Yeah, I mean, there was what's Freebird. I did that one time, and I'm never doing that again. That was way too long. That was
I suppose
so
that's the good
long.
thing about it, isn't it? It's a song, isn't it? So you can pick the ones that suit your time needs and things like that. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, something like yeah, like picking like the shorter songs and ones that I know, but also that you can sit down whilst you're doing it. So that makes it be, and you really can just do very minimal movements, like very nonchalant, just whacking it slowly. So that can be fun, but good days, bad days.
Yeah. All the games you've just listed are
Hmm.
nothing like Fortnite.
I know.
So what is it with Fortnite that just get kind gets you kind of enjoying it and yeah, ticks all the right
Yeah.
boxes because it is so opposite to Coral to Pete Saber to a game where you're a postwoman and then you're just jumping around with a short Fortnite shotgun, screaming at
Hmm.
8-year-old kids and shooting them in the face. It's a bit of a different pace.
It's like not good for my cortisol levels, but I think it's the only sort of shooter I can play, especially multiplayer, like online multiplayer, where I feel comfortable and accommodated, and it's not big scary shooter. It's a fun time, and I get very intimidated by a lot of like online shooters and multiplayers. Just the I don't know, strangers can be mean, and I don't like that. But also, I can play with my sisters and my friends and my loved ones very easily, and it's free. So people who aren't used to gaming, I can basically bully them into playing it with me very easily because they haven't got to buy a game. It's just download it now,
Yeah.
do it right now, play with me.
Are you
agree,
are you
card
no
lobbies.
are you build or no build?
No build. I know.
Yes, that's the only way to play it.
It's just yeah, you don't have to think about much, and that's the beauty of it,
Um,
as well as the visualization, the sound bar.
audio.
Like,
So the audio visualizer is something I talk a lot about in talks as a great example of accessibility in a multiplayer. We won't go into the depths of that because I could talk about it for quite a while.
Special coming up.
Let's go down to the actual real reason everyone plays Fortnite. What's your favourite skin? As someone in the world of fashion, what is that Fortnite skin that really ticks your box?
this is like niche, but it's called the Hannah skin, Hanna. It's like a racer girl, and it has like little like flames that come out and like of her outfit when you kill someone, and that's
Fortnite
very
Hannah skin. Let's.
She's got a little bob. Me and Grant call it the fuck ass bob. There we go. The fuck off bob.
That's what I say
Yeah,
to my neighbour. Fuck off, Bob.
fuck off bob.
Is it the one with the blonde hair?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the short
Okay.
and the
Yeah,
wig
the short
hat.
bob. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tend to buy it. I brought it for my sisters. I brought it for my best friend. I'm like, we're gonna team up, and you're gonna wear this skin. I'm like,
You
okay.
have to play as Hannah. You can't play with me if you don't use the skin. Yeah.
It's
Why
true.
you Kratos? What are you doing? Get back to Hannah.
Wow. That was eye-opening because
Yeah.
I never thought someone would say the term or phrase fashion accessibility and gaming accessibility aren't that far apart.
Not at all.
No.
There's a section's very close, and yeah, you'd be surprised.
it's incredible. So, what's next for Poppy? Kind of that's what I started asking that a bit more. What's Poppyfield going
Yeah.
to be breaking into next? Are we going to be looking at a range of clothes by Poppy? Because I don't know what you did at fashion, if you did fashion communication or designing or what you studied at university. What's the end goal? What would you kind of like to achieve?
Yeah, it's such a difficult one because I feel like at the moment I have like my hands in so many different pots and it can get very overwhelming. But the thing I'm most enjoying at the moment is, weirdly enough, different, but working with sort of consultant companies and bringing in disabled people into like the research process and matching with the right disabled people, because I've been that disabled person who's like gone and done research before, and I'm like, really, should I be here? It doesn't feel like I'm the most appropriate person for this. So I'm really enjoying that at the moment. Bit weird, the consultant for the consultants is one that I still haven't figured out
It's an Inception, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, I was about to say Inception, yeah.
I still have no idea, but I'm really enjoying that. I'm enjoying, I think, amplifying disabled people in spaces that we are not heard much from. And I'd like to do that more in fashion. I think that's like the next thing I'd love to try and get more into. So I'm doing it in tech. So why not fashion?
Love that. And one last question: Do you pick Grant's bow ties, or is that all him?
That's
That's all him. Because that's all I
mean-
wanted to ask for the last 45 minutes is, do you pick Grant's bow ties, or is that all on him?
that's all on him. He has a little Pokemon one, little Pokemon balls, and I'm like, okay, hon. Sounds
You rock
great.
it, yeah. No, amazing.
Yep.
Poppy, thank you for your time. Like, this isn't the end, as everyone knows. We'll go on to a couple more segments, but we just like to always say thank you for talking about yourself and letting people know who Poppyfield actually is and what actually is accessible fashion, because it's very much in the same kind of trajectory as gaming accessibility. I feel it's very early doors. You've got quite, as you've said, there's quite predominant figures in there, and it's a small community at the moment, I feel.
Yeah, it's all design at the end of the day. And yeah, we want
Yeah.
better design.
No, amazing. So we will be shortly passing over to Future Us, where we will be talking about this week's gaming news and, to put it bluntly,
Accessibility podcast called To Put It Bluntly.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. I was going to say episode 29, but I was getting confused. It is season 2, episode 9.
He's got
2
it wrong.
and 9. 2, 9.
He's got
Got
it
very
wrong.
confused. Anyway, this is the gaming news patch notes, where we talk about the week's news. Can be sometimes be funny, sometimes be a bit sad with the layoffs. But this week's quite positive, I feel. I don't think there's any layoff news from the three of us.
No.
So I will start with our guest. What is your news, Poppy?
Oh, well, sticking with the Fortnite theme, there is a new Lara Croft skin, I think based on the 2003 Lara Croft film, that's now available on the Fortnite store. Probably won't be buying it, but it's out there if you want it.
Do we think there's any company that are close to Fortnite in terms of collaborations?
Oh gosh.
Or
that's
are they
quite-
just clear by a million? I think that if you ask me, they're clear by a million miles, because there's no one that's got anywhere near them.
It's just everything, all the time, all at once. Everything everywhere all at once.
Thomas came in the other week and was like, "Can I get a pair of Jordans on Fortnite?" I was like, "Why do you need Jordans?" I was like, "You've got real Jordans you've got Jordans in real life. I'm not buying virtual pairs now because they aren't cheap, mate."
Wait, I just realised Grant sent me, they're doing Crocs in Fortnite and you can buy Gibbets Crocs.
You can't.
That should have been my news. Why wasn't that my news? I love Crocs.
So there we go. Right, Poppy's double dropping. We've got
Yeah.
I didn't see
Lara
that. So
Croft
are they actually
and
putting
Crocs.
Crocs in Fortnite?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it was an article. I think
Australians will love that.
Because Crocs are everywhere, aren't they?
now it sounds like an April Fool's, doesn't it? But
Oh, they got Shrek ones.
Hold on. Apparently not. The nearest Fortnite is the week it rains continues with Crocs classic clogs being added to the game's expansive item shop.
because you can wear shoes now on your skins. which
Yeah,
sounds-
yeah, you can put Crocs on characters.
Oh my goodness.
And you can buy Fortnite Crocs, like actual IRL Crocs that have got Fortnite characters on.
Yeah. Someone did
Well-
Godzilla with Crocs on. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Well, that's most people's Christmas sorted for their kids.
It's the pink bear foot. They are hideous. Get me 10. No, I'm joking.
I want them all.
Yeah. That's crazy because you're obviously like a lot of the big YouTubers wear them. So like my little boy's like, I want Lightning McQueen Crocs because I've seen like Angry Ginge in them, and I'm
I
like,
have them.
you've got Lightning McQueen Crocs.
And they light up when you walk.
Yeah.
They're so good.
I'm like, I can't get you, mate. They sold out in minutes because everyone wanted the Lightning McQueen ones because like famous YouTubers were in them, and it's just unreal. And like, I remember when people were like they're really great for just walking in the garden, and now there's people at the
Yeah,
Oscars
that's what I
wearing.
use them for.
Yeah, there's people at the Oscars in Crocs. I'm like, okay, go for
Might
it.
be too far.
It might be a bit too far, but go for it.
It's comfortable.
What skin is your ideal skin, Poppy? As we talking about skins in Fortnite. What does Poppy want to see as a skin in Fortnite?
Oh goodness. Okay, well, I would love. This is maybe also niche. I love to see Madison Beer as a skin, who is an artist who I know loves Fortnite, and she made like a whole set list over like with the background being like a Fortnite game, and I think that'd be really really fun. That's a girly pop girl, like a proper pop star. Basically, kind of an Ariana Grande skin.
Yeah, that's the next one.
What about you, Wobbs? What do
Me,
you want to see?
I want a Tony Hawk skin.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I want a skateboarder skin. Like they've had like skateboards and things in the past, but I would love a Tony Hawk skin. I think that'd be cool, and probably not too far off being something they're going to do with releases of the new Tony Hawk's games or remasters. It's kind of I'd love to see that. I think that'd be awesome. Cameron, yours? It's got
Yeah.
I don't know. Since I'm wearing Ace Attorney jump, Phoenix, right? Ace Attorney,
That'd be cool. That'd be really
Yeah.
cool. Actually. Yeah, I can see that happening.
and his hammer, his weapon, his pickaxe just shouts objection when he hits someone.
I would love that.
Epic, get me paid, please.
Yep.
Thank you.
So I will now bring. Actually, no, we'll go to Cameron because I'll finish on a fanboy moment. We'll go to Cameron. Cameron, would
Okay,
you like to
yep.
talk about yours?
Let me get my news up. I always look for a website with dark mode so I don't blind myself.
Yeah, that's my kind of thing. Get in your own lane.
Okay. Calm down, Shirley. Star Wars strategy game is going to be revealed at Star Wars Celebration in Japan in mid-April, late April. Developed by Bit Reactor, who are made of devs from studio that made XCOM, Civilization,
Ooh.
like people who've worked for them in the past. Yeah, it's got some good pedigree behind it. It was announced in early 2022, but it'd already been in development for about a year. So yeah,
We're
like 4 or
about
5 years.
release. Yeah, that could be
So it's
date
gonna-
announced.
they-
Yeah,
they're going to show the
Think-
first look at it, and then probably it's going to feature maybe a release date.
we'll get a quarter at least, I reckon.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Like, I'm not a massive turn-based guy, but I
I'm a
don't mind
sucker
playing
for
the occasional one.
I'm a sucker for Star Wars, as you can see with
Yeah.
the Chewbacca stuff everywhere, and yeah, Star Wars is for me.
We need a Star Wars celebration in Wales, I reckon. Make everyone travel here.
We can definitely look into that one. Just an excuse to meet up, isn't it, mate? That's all you want to do.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm taking you to Barry Island when you get here.
Yes, I'm right. Are you ready to meet a fanboy hard?
Yep.
Can we get the Oblivion remaster announced, please? Because we've had leaks again, and Bethesda, the internet is teasing me more and more every week, and I just want some actual news that isn't some bloke in a dungeon telling me it's coming with no date, no information, nothing other than it's coming. And Oblivion's like the game for me that opened my eyes to gaming, and it's my favourite game. I don't hesitate when anyone ever asks me what my favourite game is, because it's Oblivion. It always will be Oblivion. And can we just get the announcement properly rather than another set of leaks? Eurogamer this week jumped on the leaks, and they were like, oh yeah, we think it's actually going to be announced, and then they're going to drop it by like June. And I'm like, can we just announce it then, please, Bethesda? And I know people that work at
Cruise.
if it is, I'm gonna cry because
So the Cruise is going to be Skyrim 2. They're remastering Skyrim
don't
again.
no, I can't deal with another Skyrim remaster. I'm Fallout. I've been enjoying. Like I got back into Fallout because of the Fallout TV series, and then I was like, oh, I just want to play Oblivion. I tried to play Oblivion, and unfortunately, it's just too far gone for me now. I can't enjoy it because it's just so like graphically bad, and I just struggle to see it ever more than ever. And all I want now is the remaster. So, people at Bethesda, if you're listening, please can you just announce it, or just let me know it's actually happening. I know enough people. I know enough people that work for them now. Can someone just tell me that it's happening rather than?
I won't sign any contract.
I will sign an NDA. Yeah, I will sign an NDA. I just need to know it's happening now because it's like my. If you say no, it's going to be like trying to tell when your kid finds out. Spoiler alert: Father Christmas isn't real. If you say no to me now,
excuse me.
I'm sorry, but if you say it's not happening now after all of this, I'm going to be absolutely devastated. And I had to rant about it today. I said to Cameron, was like, "What news have you got?" I was like, "Oblivion again," because it's got to a point now where every week there's leaks, and every week someone's saying it's coming, and there's no official announcement. And if it doesn't happen, I think I'm going to be distraught. And on that note, should we move on? Because I could sit here for about another hour just ranting about the fact all I want is an Oblivion remaster, whatever it is, and it's still not been announced officially.
What would you rather? Remaster, remake?
I don't care. I just want it to look good again and be able to play it again and cry into my happiness place, because that's Oblivion's my happy place, and I just want to be able to go back there and steal things. And yes,
Once you go somewhere to steal things, and that's your happy place. Jesus.
Well, you know me, I'm Mr. Professional in my hell, but yeah. But right, let's move on because I don't want to take up any more of people's time ranting about Oblivion that I've ranted about before on the podcast. So we will hand over to our future selves again in a couple of moments, where we will be challenging Poppy, and I will give you those 10 seconds to write in the comments what game you think she's going to be answering questions on, because it's pretty obvious by this point.
Accessibility podcast called To Put It Bluntly.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Put It Bluntly episode 29, which Cameron got wrong in the last bit, and I'm not going to let him live it down because he moans at me.
You just said episode 29.
We are on episode 29.
No, we're
24! No!
Series
Even I know that.
2, episode 9. That's what I said, Bob.
See, I've fucked it.
He
Right.
said it so confidently as
I
well.
said it so confidently as well.
I got one up on you, and he was wrong.
And I'm wrong. Right. I'm not even going to... We're going to go with that one. So, yep. Poppy, we're going to be challenging your knowledge on the world of what video game?
Oh, I wonder. It's Fortnite.
It's Fortnite. And what charity?
I would like you... Is it dedicating?
So what's going to happen if you win? Me and Cameron will donate to the charity of your cause. So after the season, we've got a score lead, and we will donate £25 each to the charity that you have chosen. So what charity have you chosen?
I'd like to choose Scope because of their current work with the government and the benefit cuts, and they're doing really good work. So that's my chosen charity.
Amazing. So for those of you that probably, if you don't already know me and Cameron or follow me on social media at least, I've been quite vocal about these, and it's obviously a bit of a joke, and like you've said, Scope are starting to campaign already and organise things, and yeah, because the government are being absolute fuck
There
up.
is a
Yeah,
petition as well, just if anyone wants to
Yeah.
go looking for it.
there's lots of things going on at the moment because it's just ridiculous, but we won't dwell on that today because Poppy is about to be tested on her Fortnite knowledge. I will start off with, we will have 2 multiple choice questions to begin with, bit easier, and as we go through the 5 questions, the last 2 will be quite tricky. So question number 1, which of the following is not a type of Fortnite game mode?
It's the first time you're seeing this, by the way.
No, but I didn't realise the actual answer. I was like, A, save the world. B. Battle Royale, C. Financial Advice Quest, or D. Creative? Which one of them is not a game mode in the world of Fortnite?
I'm going with Battle. No, just kidding. The financial, what was it financial? C?
Financial Advice Quest.
I think it should be implemented.
I think it needs to be implemented because the amount I spend on skins for my child is unreal.
Right.
Practical.
Question 2. This is one that I found out. What does the V in V-Bucks stand for? It does stand for something. So it's A, Vin Diesel Bucks, B, Virtual Battle Bucks, C, Vindertech Bucks, or D, Venom Viper Bucks.
I'm guessing the virtual one. B, right?
Did I pronounce it?
Oh, don't say it like that. Yeah? Maybe?
No,
No,
sorry.
what's
It was Vindertech Bucks. So in the Save the World, there's a guy called Vinder, and he creates V-Bucks apparently. So all the parents out there, blame Vinder.
Vinder is the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vinder's the ultimate problem.
Cheers, Vinder.
Yeah. Look, we've done to Wobbles.
It was bad enough one of us having an in-game currency addiction in this household, and now we've got 2. That's no laughing matter. Please reach out if you are struggling with virtual currency issues.
Great. Now I have to put a link in the chat. Yeah, will do.
Question number 3. Who performed the first ever live concert in Fortnite?
Oh,
I'm
that's not a multiple choice, is it?
No, I'm really
Nope.
sad because I knew these 3 answers because of my little boy.
I feel like it was either Travis Scott or Ariana Grande, but I'm not sure. I feel like
I'm going to
Travis
give
Scott
you a
might
hint. Go a bit older.
be a bit older. Oh,
Like
God.
further back a couple of years.
It's not
Oh my
Elvis Presley.
It's not that
No,
far back, no.
It's Oasis. I don't know, actually. I feel like I definitely... Marshmallow.
There we go. I knew you got it. Yeah. Saved herself.
Yeah. Nice.
Question 4. Who was the first licensed character skin to be featured in Fortnite?
See, I haven't really got like the whole V-Buck addiction like some people, so I'm...
All right.
I
feel personally attacked.
was it like Iron Man or something? I don't know. I'm so wrong on this one.
He was
So your final answer?
he was quite close to this bloke. You're not far off.
Like, is it a Marvel character? I'm guessing.
We can't give too many clues.
Can't give too many clues. My goodness, like Black Panther or something. I don't know. Like, Spider-Man or Thor. I'm just gonna keep saying things until you go.
Right.
Yes.
John Wick.
Oh my gosh, that bloody skin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's the only one that I've got.
he was the
That's
first
what-
actual crossover, weren't he? He was the first officially
Yeah.
licensed one, yeah.
And you've lost for the last one, Wobbles?
What was playable in the first ever in-game crossover event in Fortnite? Right, I'm going to put that. What was the playable character?
Who was playable?
Yeah, who was playable in the
Same.
first ever in-game crossover event?
Like Thanos or something. I am awful.
Is that your answer?
I guess it's gonna have to be because
Well, that's correct. That's why I was edging you to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
you got 4 out of 5. You've got the harder ones, and then Mr. Vindertech.
Clearly
John Wick.
not well educated enough. Those skins are so sweaty. The John Wick skins. They were the bane of my existence back in like 2018.
Yep.
So
3 out of 5. Not bad.
3 out of 5 is good. So you won't unfortunately be entered to win the donation because someone got
That's
5 out of 5. But we like
wasn't
to.
it?
Was it 4? I thought it was 5.
I think it was 4. No, I think it was 4, and then they go on the
Oh
next
yeah,
bit
this.
as well.
So we don't warn you about the next bit. You will have known. You know what's coming because you've listened to the Grant episode.
Potentially.
So
I'd be surprised if that.
what we are now going to do is I'm going to randomly generate a letter on my phone. You will then be given 30 seconds to name as many video games that begin with that letter as possible.
Oh God, this is a cognitive nightmare.
Oh, it's
Who
a
got all the
cognitive
letters
nightmare
used?
because everyone crumbles. we have
Yeah,
had
but
we've had 9 guests do it now, and only one person has kind of crushed it and gone and done really well. So don't worry, because I play along with you as well in my head, because I don't know the Cameron Googles the list of games, I don't. So I sit here going like that with you, and then all of a sudden at the end I start kicking myself alongside you, because I go, oh my god, I didn't think of that one. Right, where's the list of letters we've had?
We just had M last week.
Yeah, but I've got it. Yeah, so we will generate the letter. I will then take as much time as I possibly can to get a clock up on my phone to give you some time. I'm quite nice. I'm not, here's the letter, there's 30 seconds.
that's fine.
Although, if you ask Mrs. Wobbles, 30 seconds is a long time. We are going to be asking you for video games that begin with the letter A. So
Okay.
that's A for Apple. I'm now trying to find, every week, trying to find the clock on my phone. And then I'll give you 30 seconds when I've found it. Right. I am pressing start in 3, 2, 1. Video games that begin with the letter A, Poppy.
Ace Attorney. Other Ace Attorneys. Other Ace Attorneys. Oh my god.
You mentioned one earlier on, a bit like the game you're playing.
I mean, can I just start with saying Assassin's Creed? Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed
Yep.
Origin. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Assassin's Creed Rogue. Assassin's Creed Revelations. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Assassin's Creed 1, right? Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed 3. Assassin's Creed Mirage. Assassin's Creed. Wait, this is like Assassin's Creed test now. Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yep.
Done. With 12. You have nailed
12,
that.
yeah.
You have
Yeah.
absolutely.
Funny.
That's what you need. You need to find a series.
Yeah,
and
you
then...
need to find. So,
Go for it.
so someone had Call of Duty, right? They had C.
Mhm.
And I was sat there going, please say Call of Duty because you've cleaned up. And they didn't. And I was like, oh no. And someone had. We haven't had
M.
We haven't had F yet, because the moment anyone gets F, they're cleaning up, because you've got 25 editions of FIFA.
Oh my god, I would never have thought of that.
And all you have to do is go FIFA 1, FIFA 01, FIFA 02, 03, 04, 05, and you've cleaned up. But
Wow.
Assassin's Creed, that was great. I didn't even think of Assassin's Creed. So, and I've been I could say it, I've been playing Shadows because Ubisoft are amazing and have given me early access. And even I didn't think of Assassin's Creed. So yeah, Poppy, you've just smashed that segment, and I'm impressed.
Somehow I am too.
And unfortunately, that brings an end to our time together.
It's sad.
It is
That's the
sad.
best.
Poppy, it's been a pleasure, because you've been you're one of the first kind of familiar faces to me in the accessibility space. I kind of found you quite early doors, and you've always been a support, and we've worked together on a project previously, and it was a pleasure to sit and meet, and actually finally meet you face to face. And as always, all of Poppy's links to whatever she is doing will be in the dump, her socials, and
Charity.
the charity. And please go and take a look at the Scope stuff if you are a listener, if you are disabled yourself, because what they are doing at the moment could make a difference, and hopefully will make a difference, because it's not looking great, in all honesty, at the moment. But on a brighter note, Poppy, thank you so much, and please keep up the amazing work. Always smiling, always looking good, and keeping Grant out of trouble, I believe, is probably a good thing you do as well.
Yeah, that's probably the most important thing, actually.
Yeah. And
Done.
as always, it's been a pleasure. We will be back at some point in the next week with the next episode. I've been the Wobbly Gamer.
And I've been Cameron.
Being Poppy.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.